Police probing shooting death of 19-year-old man and wounding of 3 others, including a child in Grange Hill, Westmoreland. The Savannah Lamar police are probing the circumstances which led to the shooting death of a 19-year-old man and the wounding of 3 others, including a child in Grange Hill, Westmoreland. Dead is Devontae Brown, a laborer of Cowders District in Grange Hill in the parish. Police say at about 5:20 p.m., all 4 people were standing along the roadway near Devontae's home when a motor car drove up. 2 men reportedly alighted from the car and the open gunfire hitting them. The police were alerted and all 4 people were taken to hospital. Brown was pronounced dead and the others admitted for treatment. Teacher and student fight at Belmont Academy in Westmoreland. There was a physical altercation between a teacher and a male student at the Belmont Academy in Westmoreland last week. A video of the incident surfaced on social media showing the teacher and the student in a tussle. The footage shows the teacher flipping the student to the ground before the fight continued on the ground with both men at their interlocked. Screams could be heard from the onlooker student, one of whom warned, "You're gonna get expelled, brother." However, the fight continued until the interlock between the pair was broken by an intervening student. Reporters has made several attempts to get a comment from the principal, Ryan Simpson, but calls to his phone has gone unanswered. Attempts to get a comment from the chairman was also unsuccessful, but one parent expressed shock when she got the wind of the incident. "These are not normal children. In my time, I couldn't dare think of that. We just have to pray for them. Uncle God can help them," the mother told reporters on condition of not being named. In the latest in the sting of teacher-student physical altercation over the years at Jamaica school. In March of last year, at the Kempsale High School, a student is said to have gone up into a teacher's face before the teacher pushed him away. The student then attacked the teacher with punches and draped and pulled the educator to the ground. After one such incident, former president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Winston Simmet, controversially told educators to stand up and fight back against the attacks. DPP to rule whether charges be laid against cops accusing authorized killing. Reporters have been informed that the Director of Public Prosecutions will be asked to determine whether criminal charges should be laid against the 3 policemen arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of a man at a mother's fast food restaurant on Main Street in Orchard, St. Anne over a week ago. The policemen, along with 5 civilians, are under investigation for the murder of 30-year-old Kajay Sims of Bartletown Gale, St. Mary. A senior investigator told reporters that a file is being prepared for submission to the DPP. Mr. Sims was gunned down inside the popular fast food restaurant during a brawl with a group of men on January 27. It was reported that Mr. Sims and his friend got into a dispute with a group of men, which became physical. It's alleged that he used a knife to slash 2 of the men. Investigators say one of the men went outside, returned with a firearm and shot Mr. Sims in the chest. The group of men then fled the scene in a convoy of 4 vehicles to St. James. Mr. Sims was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigators arrested the policemen and civilians after receiving CCTV footage inside the restaurant. Justice Minister calls on candidates to embrace peace during local government election campaign. With campaigning for the local government election underway, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is calling on candidates from both parties to embrace peace. He made the appeal during a church service at the New Beulah Moravian Church in Manchester to mark the start of Restorative Justice Week. Noting that there have been numerous incidents of crime and violence in Jamaica, he said politicians should be an example to other citizens. He said despite disagreements in Parliament between the government and opposition, and between candidates of the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, it should be understood that individuals can agree to disagree without having a conflict. He is hopeful that the local government election set for February 26 will be peaceful. Restorative Justice Week is celebrated under the theme Transformation, Peace and Harmony through Restorative Justice.
But I beg in the start of the local government election, the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition have admonished all candidates to play clean. No need to be abusing your opponent. No reason to engage in any form of destructive behavior. And at the end of the day, may the best person win in each division. And I work with delegates from the other side because we want a peaceful place. So you have never heard of political violence in Northeast St. Andrew for the last 20 years because we must work together. And we must encourage opponents the freedom to campaign.
Beatrice Stout and co-accused freed of conspiracy to murder charge. Everton Beatrice Stout MacDonald and co-accused Oscar Barnes were freed of their conspiracy to commit murder charge after no case submission in the Home Circuit Court on Monday. The ruling was handed down by trial judge Chester Stamp. At the same time, Stamp ruled that both men have a case to answer to as it relates to murder stemming from the July 2020 killing of Tonya MacDonald, who was the second wife of MacDonald, a popular Portland businessman. The ruling was handed down outside the presence of 7-member jury which began to hear the case in September last year when the trial started. The media was also not allowed to sit in on Monday's session in court. Both MacDonald and Barnes were charged in 2020 with murder and conspiracy to murder. Reliable sources informed reporters on Monday that Stamp threw out the conspiracy charge after he was satisfied that MacDonald and Barnes did not conspire with each other to kill Tonya. However, both men will be back in court on Tuesday to have the jury deal specifically with the matter of murder. MacDonald and Barnes were implicated in the killing of Tonya after a man by the name of Denvalin Boblaminto claimed to police that MacDonald hired him for $3 million to kill Tonya. He further claimed that he did not kill Tonya himself but instead subcontracted the murder to Barnes, who was to maintain that he is not guilty of the crime. MacDonald had also maintained his innocence. Minto pleaded guilty to murder and was sentenced to 19 years and 10 months in prison after confessing to being the contractor in the killing. In the case of Barnes, a detective sergeant who was lead investigator in the matter admitted in his testimony that Barnes was only arrested based on the fact that Minto pointed him out during a drive-through session with the police, claiming that he was the one responsible for killing Tonya. Barnes was never taken on an identification parade, and based on the detective sergeant's testimony, there was no physical evidence linking him to the murder. Cops searched in 2 houses that Barnes is connected to and found no bloody knife nor anything else to incriminate him. His motor vehicle, which is still in custody of the police, was confiscated in 2020 and swapped for possible evidence, but none presented itself to cops. MacDonald insisted that he did not kill his wife, who he allegedly accused of entertaining multiple men during their marriage. The murder convict Minto claimed during his evidence in court last year that he had sexual relationship with the businessman's wife. According to Minto, the sexual relationship started when MacDonald allegedly gave him the green light to develop a close relationship with Tonya to get her to be more comfortable so the murder could go through smoothly. The case continues when character witnesses are expected to appear in court to vouch for both MacDonald and Barnes. Opposition spokesperson on youth encourages young people to exercise right to vote in upcoming local government elections. Opposition spokesperson on youth, Senator Gabriela Morris, is encouraging young people not to be swayed from participating in the voting process during the upcoming local government elections. Her appeal comes amid reports that voters' apathy among some young people ahead of the polls set for February 26. Senator Morris said young people should not be discouraged in expressing their right to carry out their civic duty. She also highlighted the need for youths to get involved in selecting representatives who will deliver on mandates that align with their values and aspirations for their homeland. She was speaking at the People's National Party presentation of candidates for Region 3 in St. Andrew. Her appeal follows a similar one made by the Electoral Office of Jamaica, which sought to assure that its elections are conducted fairly and transparently.
I really wanted to get across to the young people that this election is very important. There are a number of young people out there who are saying they will not vote, but I want to remind them that your vote is your voice. And this election is about the future. You need to make sure that you're secure in your future. And so you need to go out, exercise your right, and make sure that you choose representatives that will deliver on the things that are important to you. So that's the message I want to bring to them. Involvement is important, and young people need to get out there and vote.
Early warning system to address mental health challenges from drug use. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dustin Bryan, has hailed the launch of the early warning system, EWS, on drugs as a welcome intervention in addressing mental health issues resulting from drug use. According to Brian, the system will enable the authorities to be more proactive, thereby improving preventative management in the public health sector. The presence of new psychoactive drugs has created challenges within our population, and if we recognize the impact of COVID-19, we recognize that it has created greater vulnerability, and that vulnerability is primarily the area of mental health, he said. The alignment, link, correlation, and caution of these substances of mental health challenges is significant, powerful testimony to what our ignorance or lack of capacity can result in if we are not proactive, Brian stated. Brian was addressing the launch of the system on Friday, February 2nd at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston. The EWS will function as an institutional network of key stakeholders tasked with issuing alerts about psychotropical substance, developing rapid and effective responses, and maintaining a surveillance system using information from multiple sources including epidemiologists. Brian said the EWS is well needed and the ability to track and respond to drug use on the island will further drive policy development and support efforts to overturn the threat of substance abuse, particularly among young people. He also noted that mental health challenges in the youth have risen by at least 20% over the last 5 years and have gravely affected the health sector. The presence of depression and psychotic episodes, triggered in some instances by the use of abused drugs, is resulting in a significant impact in our social norms and our social values, but, most importantly, it is impacting the public health response to these challenges. He said, highlighting that drug-related mental health issues may also contribute to economic losses. He noted that despite a record low employment rate, many individuals are not participating in labor market due to the impact of mental health issues on the ability to be productive. Therefore, our public health response is not only an issue of addressing primary care and its implications, but also the imperatives of the economy. In this way, we are extremely proud of this engagement and extremely happy that we are at this point where we can launch an early warning system, Brian stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.